Hi everyone, I hope you're having a great start to the week. Last week I uploaded a video talking about my 2019 goals, whether or not I achieved those, and generally what went on in 2019, the highs and the lows. And today I want to sit down and talk to you about my plans for 2020. And I would love to know what your plans are in the comments section down below. This video is also very kindly sponsored by Skillshare, which I'll talk about more later. So I have a list here of 12 things that I would like to get to in 2020. I have more than 12 things I want to do, obviously, but these are some of the main things to kind of frame everything else around. Number one is to exercise more, and I'm leaving this general deliberately. Last year I also left it quite general and failed. I said I wanted to do more yoga and I didn't really do that, but I think widening the net to include just exercise in general as opposed to doing more of one specific type of exercise will make it easier to achieve and will also make it more fun. So I am doing more yoga so far in the year. I'm doing Yoga with Adrian's 30-day yoga challenge, which I very much recommend, and I'll link it in the description box down below. I'm also very acutely aware that I don't do any intense exercise. So I do a lot of walking, but I don't do anything that really gets my heart rate up, and I should. I used to do lots when I was younger. I used to do swimming and ballet. I don't do any of that anymore. There are loads of tutorials on YouTube for intense 10-minute, 20-minute, 30-minute workouts. So I really would like to do, I was going to say more of that in 2020. Any of that in 2020 would be more than I have been doing. Goals 2 and 3 are linked to each other. So goal number 2 is to read one short story a day, and goal number 3 is to read one poetry collection a week. I mentioned in my video last week that for the past 4 years, a third to half of my yearly reading has been taken up with judging National Book Awards, which I have loved, but in 2020 I don't have any of those lined up. So it means I've got a lot more freedom when it comes to picking books off my shelves. Currently, I have about 50 unread short story collections on my shelves and about 50 unread poetry books on my shelves. I'll do a quick cutaway so you can see them. All my unread books are on the same shelves as my read books, so they're all mixed in together. With the short stories, I want to read one short story a day, and at the moment I am working my way through the short story collections as they appear on the shelves, and there's something quite satisfying about that. Just literally going along and picking the next one off that I haven't read yet. So far this year, I've already read 3 short story collections. So challenging myself to read one short story a day has actually meant I've done more than that, which is interesting. And if I read one poetry collection a week, then I should get my poetry book TBR down to nearly 0. I don't mind having books sitting on my TBR, but these are books that I've been excited to get to and haven't for one reason or another. So I hope I can stick to this throughout the year. These goals also tie into my next goals, which is number 4, write one poem a week, and number 5, submit to journals and competitions. Obviously, I used to do this. I'm a writer, in case you're new to my channel, and I have 9 books published, and towards the beginning of my career I started out submitting poetry and short stories to literary magazines, journals and competitions. It's how you start out building your writing CV, and I haven't done that as much in recent years because a lot of my time has been taken up with bigger projects, so with books. But now that I have a poetry collection out and a short story collection, I would really like to challenge myself to write more smaller things. And I think that's going to help when it comes to anxiety towards huge projects like novels, which I spoke about in the video that I uploaded last week. If I can complete more smaller things, send them off, get them published in places, it will make me feel better about how long it takes to write a novel. It's getting that balance between the bigger projects and the smaller projects, which is often something that I speak about when I'm talking about freelance work. I also want to say that when you're a published author, the rejection doesn't stop. So just because I'm writing more poetry and short stories doesn't mean that those things will definitely get published. But by challenging myself to write those things, send them out to journals that perhaps have submission deadlines and competitions that definitely have submission deadlines, even if they don't end up getting published in those places, I can send them out elsewhere, and they're just extra things that I will have finished and will have written, and that can only be a good thing. Goal number 6 is to record more episodes of my podcast, Books with Jen. Books with Jen has always been quite a casual thing, so I don't upload every month. I just record episodes as and when I can. I chat with authors about their work. We talk about the industry over a cup of tea, normally over donuts. It's a lovely time. I enjoy doing it, and you guys seem to enjoy listening to the episodes. So in 2019, I recorded 4 episodes, one with Ayobami Adebayo, one with Laura Kay, one with Raymond Antrobus, and one with Kirsty Logan. And I love doing all of those. So in general, I just want to continue and do more of those in 2020. So I'm putting this on my list to hold myself accountable and remind myself. Goals number 7 and 8 are linked, and they also link back to Skillshare as well, who I mentioned at the beginning. Goal number 7 is that I want to start doing a new hobby, or just discover something new to do in my spare time. That sounds really vague. I know, it's intentionally vague, and I would also like your help with trying to work out what that thing should be. Essentially, so much of my life, even the stuff outside of work, is related to books, and that's great. I love books, but I would like to have something that I do that is in no way, shape, or form related to my job. And I think I would like that thing to be craft-based. So if you have any ideas, please let me know. I would love to do embroidery, but I think that I would find that quite difficult. My hands aren't as great as they used to be. And even though I say I can do everything that anyone with the correct number of digits has and anyone without arthritis can do, I don't want my new free time fun activity to be something that actually causes me pain. So if you can think of craft-based activities that don't require minuscule detail, it's the holding tiny things and the intricacies that I find very difficult. If you can think of a craft-based activity that would fit that criteria, please let me know. And goal number 8 is to redo my website. I'm very happy with my website. It does its job, but it could definitely be better. And for both of these things, I think I can use Skillshare. And I need to hop over to my desk because that's where my computer is to show you these things. So we're gonna do a cutaway to my desk while I talk to you about Skillshare, and then we're gonna come back to the final goals. So cut. It's raining outside, so if you can hear that, I hope that it is delightful ASMR. As I mentioned earlier, Skillshare are very kindly sponsoring this video. I have worked with them many times in the past. I've made videos talking about how to annotate texts, how to write poetry, how to make certain recipes, how to organize your life, and tips on being freelance. And I'll link all of those videos in the description box down below. Skillshare is an amazing online learning platform where millions of people come together to learn new things, to discover new passions and get creative. As I said, I would like to take up a new hobby in 2020, something that is perhaps arts and crafts related. Skillshare have so many classes on these topics, and if you have any recommendations for me of something that I should try, please let me know in the comments section down below. I'm going to explore Skillshare, I'm going to think about this, take into account your comments, and then I'm going to decide on something that I might want to do, and then I will report back in a few weeks once I have picked something. I would also quite like to do baking. I don't know if I should do both. Maybe I should do both. Something arts and crafts related, and also baking, which Skillshare have plenty of videos on as well. As I said, I also want to revamp my website this year, and Skillshare have so many videos on how to design websites, thinking about how to market your business and things like that. So if you would like to take a class that is more business orientated, then they have classes on that too. Skillshare is also incredibly affordable. An annual subscription is less than $10 a month. And you can click the link in the description box because they are kindly offering all of you 2 months free of premium membership, so you can explore their website, see what they have to offer, and get involved. Goal number 9 is to continue and maintain freelance life. I know that that also sounds quite vague, but touch wood, over the past few years, I feel like I've really struck the right balance between doing long projects with clients, doing shorter projects with clients, and then completing my own work as well, such as books. So I'm really happy with the balance that I have, and I would like to work hard to maintain that in 2020. Goal number 10 is to continue with therapy. Again, quite a basic one, but therapy made up it was a big part of adjusting how I think about the way I approach things in 2019, which I spoke about in the video that I uploaded last week, so you can go and take a look at that. Oh, and I should also say, going back to the freelance goal, I wanted to mention Emma Carpenter's video that she made about projects and freelance life, and I'm going to link it down below, because I would like to continue working hard on projects and be mindful of this graph, which she included in her video, and I found so fascinating. It's a graph that talks about how we approach big projects and how we respond emotionally to those projects, and I just want to keep that in mind when approaching big things. If you would like to hear more about that, go watch a video because it's great. Goal number 11 is a really specific one, and that is to go to more National Trust places, and that's because we were gifted a National Trust membership when we got married, and I want to make sure that we're utilising that as much as possible. I enjoy taking photographs of those places too. You may have noticed, if you follow me on Instagram, that 2019 was the year I kind of fell in love with taking photographs, and I'm not talking about taking photographs on a professional level or anything like that, just something that I enjoy doing in my spare time. So I would like to do more photography and for fun, and more going to National Trust places to utilise our membership. My 12th goal is to do more in the local community. There is a website called Hands On for London, which lists local volunteer positions, so I would like to utilise that. And the second part of my 12th goal is to make sure that every time I go to the supermarket, I buy something extra to put into the food bank drop-off point. At our local supermarket, they have a drop-off point for food banks. I know that lots of places are doing this now. I will leave information in the description box down below, along with main drop-off points and the Trussell Trust, which is a big organisation which helps organise these things if you would like to donate money instead of food. So those are most of my goals for 2020. It's going to be a big year for us. As you know, we're moving, which is scary and exciting, and we're also doing a few other big things which definitely fall under the heading of adulting, which I will share more at some point. It's going to be, yeah, hopefully exciting. I would love to know what your goals are for 2020 in the comments section down below. Please let me know. I hope you're having a great start to the week, and I will speak to you all very soon. Lots of bookish love. Bye.